That's news at 10 tonight. We'll be back to confirm the results of that second critical vote in the Commons tonight. Good night.
Hello, good evening. A cold night ahead tonight with a touch of frost, and then it's back to the wet and windy story again tomorrow that we've seen so often in the last few days. Today's satellite picture shows a swirl of cloud that produced the last lot of wet and windy weather, just showers today. But behind me out to the south and west is the next lot of cloud that's coming our way. It's already producing a fair bit of rain out there to the west, and although tomorrow may get off to a bright and even fairly sunny start, it won't last. This rain's going to come sweeping in from the south and west during the day, turning to sleet and snow on the high ground further north. Let's come back to tonight. There are still some showers around, mostly in the north and the west. They're falling as sleet and snow on the high ground, but where the skies are clear inland, there is a frost tonight, so some icy patches on the roads. The temperatures themselves hovering close to freezing, around -1 in places. Tomorrow then, a fine start for many of us with some sunshine, but that next lot of rain is already beginning to appear in the south and west, you see here, during the morning, and then through the day it's going to sweep fairly quickly north and east across most of Britain. When it finally gets into Scotland late in the day, it could well turn to snow, so watch out for that. Temperatures tomorrow, a cold start and a wet end means a high of only 9, and that's just 48 Fahrenheit. Here's a summary.
Powergen, generating electricity for homes and industry, whatever the weather.
As Japan still reels from the shock of the quake, we report direct from the worst-hit area with the latest news of British survivors.
I just wanted to look thin and really pretty like the models.
We ask Cindy Crawford if the super role model is to blame. GMTV tomorrow.
A new policeman comes up against corruption in the force, and a popular sheriff is involved in torture and drug dealing. Tonight's film, Terror on Highway 91 at 10:40.
Introducing Dental Logic, a new toothbrush with a unique brushing action to help remove plaque. Philips, just a little better, but better.
Are you busy, Henry? Oh, no. Here, run Sarah home for me, will you?
Think you have the time to spend an evening with me? And if we go someplace to dance, I know that there's a chance you won't be leaving with me. And afterwards we drop into a quiet little place and have a drink or two.
What kept you?
And then I go and spoil it all by saying...
The Citroen Xantia. Discover what Citroen can do for you.
Breaking soon. The power issue. Registering for information in the National Power and Powergen share offer is simple. Just contact one of the many banks, building societies or brokers offering a share shop service. See the list in the national press.
Shake a leg, lad. Today's the day.
You're not going anywhere till you brush your hair and wash your face.
Car won't stop.
Never gonna make it. I suppose this must be France.
Have you got the tickets?
I thought you had them.
They're in our bag. That's the turning. You missed it.
Get a grip, lad. We're almost there.
Made it. Well done, Dad.
Someone you know. Can't wait to go. Disneyland Paris.
We improved new Tampax tampons because women told us they wanted a tampon that was easier to use. New Tampax tampons have an applicator with a glossy finish, so it's even smoother. And we improved the tampon by giving it a soft, silky outer cover, so you can trust they'll be even easier to use. And as always, Tampax gives you all the protection you need. You're not one to settle for good enough, and neither are we. New Tampax tampons. Trust is Tampax.
Stories for your region. This is Granada News.
Good evening to you. Police have today stepped up their search for the man who abducted and attempted to kill a 13-year-old Wirral girl. Teams of officers have concentrated their search on a 5-mile area of Cheshire where they believe her attacker lives. Jessica Naden reports.
Teams of detectives were briefed this morning to cover a 5-mile radius around Bowden on the Cheshire-Greater Manchester border. It was in this remote lane on the evening of January the 6th that the 13-year-old girl was abandoned near the M56 Bowden interchange. Detectives believe this location is the key to her abductor's identity. They've also been helped by the girl's detailed descriptions.
Although it's a rural area, it's so close to the M56, the A556, but a stranger to the area wouldn't know this location. It's very difficult to get to. We know that the premises concerned are accessed down a bumpy roadway, track, driveway, the entrance to which is a gate. We know that the offender had to drive through that gate and down that bumpy road in order to get to the house.
The girl was abducted 30 miles away in Ness and bundled into the boot of a light blue Cavalier-type car before being driven to the house where the attack took place. She recalls a fair-haired baby who remained in the back of the car throughout her ordeal. She was subjected to a serious sexual assault and her attacker twice tried to strangle her. The attacker is described as in his early 30s with brown hair and having a tidy appearance. Tonight, Cheshire Police said they've had a good response from the public and are now analysing new information they've received as a result of today's operation.
It's being claimed tonight that the health of up to 5,000 people may have been affected by dangerous asbestos after a fire on the Wirral. Local union officials say council workers who cleaned up after a fire at British Leather in Birkenhead weren't protected from asbestos dust. They and local residents could now be at risk. Wirral Council say that they've received around 100 people who've already lodged legal complaints which have been passed on to their insurers. They say they can't comment about the claims. A 12-year-old schoolboy who was already charged with raping an 11-year-old girl has been in court today. The boy from Cuddington, near Northwich, pleaded guilty to 2 charges of indecently assaulting a 10-year-old girl. The case was adjourned until next month, when the court will hear his plea to the rape charge. The most advanced missile defence system in the world has been unveiled here in the northwest. The Defence Procurement Minister, Roger Freeman, was on hand to see the new system wheeled out. So was our reporter, Trevor Green.
The Rapier 2000 is the latest in the family of Rapier missiles developed by British Aerospace. It first came to prominence in the Falklands campaign and later in the Gulf conflict. Defence Procurement Minister Roger Freeman watched the missile being unveiled at BAE's defence plant at Lostock. The most advanced in the world, it's capable of firing 8 missiles, twice the normal number. Rapier has helped secure 1,000 jobs at Lostock at a time when Britain has cut back heavily on defence spending. But no firm orders have come yet from other countries. After Bolton, the Minister visited BAE's civilian aircraft factory near Chester. Mr. Freeman's visit to the North Wales Aerospace factory comes just over a month after he announced that Britain would rejoin the European Future Large Aircraft programme. If the multi-billion-pound project comes off, that would mean job security for the 2,500 workers here who currently make the wings for the European Airbus. But union officials are concerned that the government may not push hard enough for the FLA programme to happen sooner rather than later.
There's a lot of talking to do, but I am absolutely serious about making progress on this project. I need to work with British Aerospace to make sure that this year we are in a position formally to rejoin the Future Large Aircraft project.
We move on to employment now, and according to the latest government figures, the number of people in the region without a job has fallen for the 11th month running. December's figures show that 263,630 people are unemployed at present. That's a drop of nearly 900. And that figure could soon be even lower. First Leisure, the company which operates Blackpool Tower, is to create 150 new jobs in the region. It's part of a national expansion of bingo halls. The company, which also owns Blackpool Pier and the Winter Gardens, announced pre-tax profits of £37.5 million. That's up by over 22%. On now to football. In the FA Cup third round replays, Blackburn Rovers were beaten by Newcastle 2-1. Liverpool drew 1-1 with Birmingham. Manchester City trounced Nottingham County 5-2. Stoke drew 1-1 with Bristol City, and Tranmere Rovers beat Bury by 3-0. Finally, motorway police in Greater Manchester have cautioned a driver who stopped on in the fast lane of the M56 to take a call on his mobile phone. Officers were called to the motorway close to Manchester Airport after other drivers reported seeing a driver who'd obviously broken down. He hadn't broken down at all. Police found him chatting away on his mobile phone, unaware of the chaos he was causing. That's it from us on the Late Team. Our next news is at GMTV 6:15. From all of us, very good night to you.
Showers will continue across the northwest during the early evening, turning to sleet and snow in places. Later, temperatures will drop markedly, so all but coastal areas will have a ground frost and icy patches on untreated roads. Thursday morning will start dry and bright, with the frost and ice only clearing slowly despite some early sunshine. The afternoon will see an abrupt end to the fine weather as rain, sleet and blustery winds spread first to Cheshire and Merseyside and then north to Lancashire before dusk. Friday will see a mixture of showers and brighter spells, with the showers turning wintry over the hills. Saturday will start cold and bright, then become increasingly cloudy, followed by rain overnight. Sunday and Monday will remain unsettled, with blustery showers containing sleet and snow and few brighter interludes.
This Monday, World Championship Boxing hits your screens with 2 world titles at stake. Anaclet Wamba of France defends his WBC Cruiserweight title against the challenger from Argentina, Marcelo Dominguez. And the WBO lightweight title bout sees the golden boy of the 1992 Olympics, Oscar de la Hoya, the pride of East LA, defend his title against fellow American, the dangerous John Avila. Join us for a great doubleheader, Monday at 11:40.
Now, what happens when a rookie cop is faced with corruption in his hometown force?